Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming here to Dataless. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to be getting into some SQL basics, creating tables. So once you've launched, let's get into create database and let's just come up with a name. For me, my name is Brent Parker. I'm going to say Parker's Penguin Company. So let's get that created. Click OK. Sorry about my spelling there. Fix that. Go ahead and click OK. All right, so time to start creating our tables. So the first table we're going to create is going to be employee demographics. So create table. All right, now we are going to start adding our values here. So the first thing is we are going to have an employee and employee ID. We're going to keep coming down, adding more information. So things like first name, last name. So you'll notice we have some data types here. Int is an integer, basically a number. We have varchar, which is a varying character length. You notice we have that parentheses and a 50. What that does is it sets the length of that varying character. We have age, which is again going to be an integer. And lastly, which is gender, which is again going to be a varchar. So let's go ahead and execute this query. All right, we can see that a row has been affected. What let's do is let's go back, let's refresh this database. And now let's see if it's been added. And there it is right there, our employee demographics. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we are going to populate this table. So we're going to enter in some basic information. So let's start at insert into. We need to specify the table that we're going to be adding information and values. So, well, we need to go in order that we set our columns in when we created the table. So that's going to start with the employee ID. We'll have our first name and last name. I put Duke Nukem here because I'm a little bit of a video gamer, kind of an old school gamer. After the first and last name, we now need their age and we need the gender. So once that is done, let's execute that query. We can see one row has been affected. Let's go back and refresh the table. There we go. And let's take a look. There it is. All right, we have our information that we've just added to this table. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause the video here and I'm going to save you from the boring stuff because I need to enter a lot more. I've come back and created a bunch of silly names here. Let's remove this top one since we already have that in our table. Let's go ahead and execute that query. Let's take a look. All right, it has been accepted. Let's refresh this and let's take a look at our table again. And there it is. There are our employees for Parker's Penguin Company. Now let's create our next table. So let's create a new query. And what we're going to be doing now is taking a look at employee salary. All right, you guys. So I've basically done the same thing here. We've repeated those steps where we created our employee salary table and we've created all of our information to populate that table. So we can see that SQL has taken it. Let's refresh that table and let's take a look. There it is. There's our employee IDs and the salary. So you guys, thank you so much for taking a look at this. I really